When she loses interest. What to do when a girl loses interest in you. Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. Today I'm talking about what to do when a girl loses interest in you. Now this is an unfortunate thing that often happens, and sometimes it's not necessarily anything that you have done that has been wrong. It could be the fact that there is an ex in the picture that they're still hung up over, that they still have a stronger emotional connection to, and perhaps you were their rebound. Or perhaps she just thought that you were initially really attractive and then suddenly she lost interest because as you two got to know each other, she realized that you weren't someone that she did want to be with. Perhaps you had a lot of different personality clashes, or you had different values and different lifestyles, and because you had different values and different lifestyles, even though she was attracted to you, she realized that, oh, well, this person's not really someone who I'm actually a good match with, right? And she's probably looking for someone who she's a good match with. Although it could be your fault. Perhaps you did over pursue, perhaps you messaged too much, perhaps you messaged her more than she messaged you, perhaps you were trying to pin her down to a relationship even though she wasn't emotionally ready to get to that point. So there could be multiple factors as to why she has lost interest. But the point is that she has lost interest. She's not as enthusiastic about you as she once was at the initial stages of this connection that you two have. So what can you do then to try and rectify the situation, if there's hope at all, and or to figure out basically if there is no hope at all? And you should basically just leave this girl and move on, take it as a learning curve. And that's basically what you should do anyway. You know, with these kinds of situations where a girl starts losing interest, where you thought things were going great and then suddenly it goes bad. And it might be a case where you're really bummed out about it, you're really sad about it. But just treat these experiences, these sometimes painful experiences, as a learning curve. And when you see it as a learning curve and an opportunity to grow as a person and to become better, you know, it affects you less. You know, always see disappointments and obstacles as learning curves rather than just the world being against you and having kind of like a really negative view on it. Have a more positive view about it, okay? If you're enjoying the video so far, then please leave a like on it and please do subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if there's anything you'd like me to discuss in a future video, then please leave it down in the comments. Or if you have any tips and advice yourself. Thank you so much. Basically, what you want to do then is you want to match and mirror what she does. So if she is replying to your messages less frequently, then you also need to match and mirror that. You need to reply to her less frequently. Perhaps it might have been the case that you were seeing her once a week. And if you saw her once a week, then maybe you want to, you know, stretch that out to only seeing her twice. Only seeing her once every 2 weeks. Or it might be the case that you saw each other a lot and you now need to go back to just seeing her once a week. So basically you want to spend less time with her. You want to spend less time messaging her and things like that. You need to let her do most of the pursuing now, because obviously she's the one that has lost interest. And the worst thing that you could do is to, you know, keep on messaging her and bombarding her with, you know, messages and calls and emails, whatever it may be, okay? So the best thing for you to do is to back off, way off, and message her a lot less. If you kind of look at if you get your phone basically, and you look at the way that you've been talking to each other, you know, who sends the longer messages? Is it you or her? Who initiates contact most? Is it you or her? Who sends the most messages? Is it you or her? And basically, if you're doing it most of the time, if you're the one who's doing the most, you need to back way off and start doing way less. So that means sending smaller messages than what she does, message her less frequently than what she messages you, and things like that, to help things get back on track and for her to start becoming more reattracted to you and to start pursuing you more because you're backing off. And if she likes you, if she really likes you, if she still likes you, then when she sees that you're backing off, if she still likes you and is still interested in you, she will start making more of the effort. She will start pursuing you more. She will start reaching out to you more. She will be trying to keep that connection going because she will feel like what you're feeling like. And what you're feeling like is you are losing her. And if she feels like she is also losing you and she likes you, she will do something about it. But the girls that won't and don't like you and won't make more of an effort are the girls that have completely lost interest and the girls that you should not be wasting your time on. I highly recommend that you watch this video on women who are into you will do this. So essentially then, my core message in this video is to only date women who are enthusiastic about you. And if they're not enthusiastic about you, if they do things like they ghost you, if they say things like, oh, I'm not sure where I am in my life right now, I don't really want to date anyone right now, I'm not really looking for a relationship, or it might be the case that they flake on you and they cancel you and they don't offer any alternative days and times where they can meet you. If they only like your attention, so that means they probably only contact you sometimes when they want to feel good about themselves, and then other times they go for weeks basically without talking to you and stuff like that. So basically, if you're talking to a girl and you're interacting with a girl who's doing all of those things and they're not enthusiastic about being with you, then you need to let those girls go. Like if she loses interest and once you've backed off and you start to match your mirror what she's doing, and she still isn't doing anything, or perhaps she stops talking to you completely, then you need to let her go. Don't cling to those girls. Because what sometimes the issue is that takes a lot of people they can't really get a grasp on, and I certainly had this, is sometimes it can seem like a girl was really, really into you. And in that moment, she probably really was into you. But just because she was into you doesn't mean that she's going to stay consistent. It doesn't mean that her interest is going to stay there completely. You know, there could be, like I said, there could be things in her life where she's got an ex coming back into the picture that she has a more of emotional connection to. There might be, it might be the fact that she just doesn't like you as much anymore. You know, you can't, just because she was once really interested in you doesn't mean necessarily that she's going to stay interested in you. And you've probably had this case with you as well. You've probably seen girls that you really, really like, and then suddenly you start talking to them and they have a lot of things wrong with them, or they're just not someone who matches your values and lifestyle, or you find out that perhaps they're really mean, and then you get turned off by them. And there could be multiple reasons as to why someone gets turned off by someone. So even though she was interested in you, don't take that as the fact that she's still interested now and she's perhaps hiding her feelings or doing something like that. If she's not displaying that same high level of interest as she did before, and she's ghosting you, she's not talking to you, and she's not enthusiastic about you, then there's not really much you can do. It's best to just leave those girls alone. Just because she was interested in you doesn't mean that she's going to continue being interested in you. So the remedy is then to only date girls who make the effort. Only date girls who say yes to meeting up with you. Only date women who don't flake and cancel plans last minute, or at least if they do, they offer alternatives. Also date girls that reply to your messages within a reasonable time period. Not girls that message you back a week later or 3 weeks later or something like that. Only date girls that at least reply to you within like 48 hours or something, maybe at a stretch 72 hours. But the point is that they get back to you within a reasonable time. And also only date women who initiate contact as well. So it's not just you that has to initiate contact all the time. Now it might be the case at the beginning of a courtship that you are the one that's messaging her first, because perhaps you have a higher interest in her than what she has in you at the moment, but she's willing basically to go out with you and she likes you enough to go out with you, but she might be shy or she might be unsure of how she feels. So it might take a while to get her to a point where she does start initiating contact with you a lot. But that should happen, you know, within the first couple of weeks of dating each other. She should be starting to make more of an effort, initiating contact with you. Once you two start to establish a connection, she'll probably be sending you memes or funny photos or funny TikToks that she's found. You know, she'll be doing all those kinds of things. She'll be sending you weird gifts, you know, things like that. She'll be doing all of those things eventually when she starts to feel more comfortable around you. But the point is that she also initiates contact. It's not always you. Let's say for months you've been messaging a girl and you're the one that's always contacting her and she's never reaching out to you first. That's a sign of a girl who doesn't have that much interest in you. So if she doesn't do those things, if she isn't initiating contact with you, if she doesn't say yes to going out with you, especially if she doesn't say yes to going out with you, then you need to find a new girl. If she's not enthusiastic, if she's not interested in you, if she's not making an effort and taking the time for you, then she's not the girl for you and you need to move on. If you would like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you guys again very soon. Goodbye, guys.